Today, I'm watching the Twilight Zone Season 1, Episode 27. The previous episode was about this Joe character who time traveled from the 1800s to 1916 New York and was really struggling to adapt, but I loved sci-fi and this time travel element I thought was really interesting, so I hope we get to see some more of those episodes. This episode we know is about this aging fighter who is looking for a miracle, and Rod Serling had mentioned in the previous episode that there's this boy involved, so yeah, curious to see where we're gonna go in this episode. Really enjoying the series so far, so thank you so much for sharing and this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And if you want to have a say in what movies or TV shows I watch, be sure to join Patreon. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. We had another character that was, I believe, a boxer in the episode with the person with four faces, if I'm remembering correctly.
In the hard-surfaced glass that stares back at him.
Oh, that was a cool shot. Yeah, and we had a little girl character in the Angels episode as well, but we haven't fit a lot of children in the show.
You read it in his face. He's got the whole story cut into his flesh.
Yeah, it looks like he's got some scars and stuff on his face as well.
All over you. First time I ever got my nose broke twice in one fight.
Oh my gosh, yeah, and telling the story of the scars on his face from all like the fights he's had. So interesting.
You ain't gonna get hurt none either. You hear, Bolly? You've been hurt enough already. And you're my friend, Bolly.
Oh, this little boy is so sweet. Yeah, and we know the name of the episode was A Big Tall Wish from Rod Serling in the previous episode, so curious if this wish will come true.
Nothing happens to you. So don't you be afraid, Bolly. Understand? Don't you be afraid.
And these performances, like especially from like a child actor, is so great. Like, it's so well done. So convincing. You can just feel the earnestness in his face.
Wish. The big tall wish. He don't waste that on just anything. That's what he calls the most important kind.
This guy have secret wishes?
A woman I did some nursing for on the island sent me a check. A check for $15.
That's exactly how much she needed for rent. Coincidence? Or can this boy make wishes come true?
Made out of concrete. When do they find out that you can wish your life away?
Yeah, like he doesn't have this like childlike sense of wonder that this little boy does, obviously. And yeah, these big tall wishes. And that's what he said about Bolly too, that he wishes he doesn't get hurt. So we'll find out. We had another episode about wishes with an actress who wished, you know, basically she could go back in time into her old movies, and then she does. So yeah, I'm definitely getting a similar vibe with this one. And I believe someone commented that Rod Serling used to be a fighter. I've only known him from this connection to the Twilight Zone, so...
I'll sign you at the back door. Why not? You're long gone, Boley. You've had it.
Why is this guy here? Like, isn't he supposed to be helping him? Like, he's just putting him down?
2, 3 prelims every month? Why, you can do that standing on your head.
Yeah, and basically admit that you'll, like, give up the fight and you'll lose on purpose.
Times in the past year. You piece of garbage, you. You betting on him, aren't you?
Oh my gosh, yeah, his own agent's betting on the other guy.
And then bets on the other guy. Well, I may be a bum upstairs in another 10 minutes, but right now I'm gonna fight a beautiful first round.
Now you touch me.
Wow, those threats.
I swear to you, Boley, I'll fix your wagon good. Now you lay off of me, you're coming crazy.
Oh my gosh, he just punched the wall. Oh.
Busted knuckles.
Okay, Jackson, you're on.
Of course, just about as he's about to go in the ring. Oh my gosh, it's not looking good for him.
Oh, he has Jackson on the rope. There's another left, another right.
Yeah, and then we don't get to see the fights, just like the reactions from the crowd and everybody's hands and how they're reacting and like the tension and, you know, not wanting to look and having their hands on their face. Oh, oh yeah, of course he's watching on TV.
Definitely hurt. Consiglio moves it on.
I thought his wish would come true, but I guess not. Oh no, this guy's not doing well. He's whispering something, but yeah, we couldn't hear it. He can freeze time? What? What is going on? This little boy's got some skills. What is this? He's almost at 10. You know, one... But it's not him! Oh! He's the winner! Oh! What? What? He's like, how did I get here?
Well, it was broke. And then when he knocked me down,
What? When he what?
He's like, that didn't happen. But Boley obviously remembers what actually happened.
No. You carry this one all the way, baby.
Joe.
He's like, something's going on. Like, I thought I broke my hand, but it's fine. And yeah, I was knocked down.
Old-timer. I'm proud of you.
And that, yeah, that would be so confusing. It's like, I punched a wall. Like, my hand should be broken, but... And we know he doesn't believe in magic, but clearly there's something going on.
Henry.
Obviously Henry knows it's him, but like, is he gonna say anything? Can he say, by the way, I can stop time to do magic?
Henry, was I on my back and on my way out?
Yeah, how's he gonna explain it? He's like, yeah, you were, yeah.
I just shut my eyes and I wished real hard. It was magic, Boley. We had to have magic.
Yeah, of course, yeah. He used his wish came true.
Somebody got to
It'll
take you
stay
by
that
the
way.
hair and rub your face into the world till you get the taste and feel of the way things are, don't they?
Oh my gosh, he's just a little kid. Oh, let him believe in magic if he wants to.
And misery I've had to live with and sleep with all my miserable life.
This is so sad. Poor Boley.
Tell me it was magic that made me get up off my back? You're a little kook, Henry. That's what you are.
It's like so ungrateful. Like, I wished you would win and you did. And what's the thanks I get?
Don't be kidding. Thinks it.
If you don't believe, Boley, it won't be true. That's the way magic works.
Oh, he doesn't believe. So what does that mean? Oh my gosh.
Henry, I can't believe. I'm too old.
Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, and like how when you get older, you're just expected to not believe in these things anymore.
God help us both. I wish there were.
Boley, you got to believe.
I can't.
He's like, I'm trying to save you. I'm trying, but if you don't believe, it's not gonna work.
Please.
I can't.
Please believe.
I can't.
You got to believe,
I
Boley.
can't.
Then I'm gonna guess Boley. Yeah, he didn't win. Oh my gosh, it undid it. Oh, Boley, you should have just believed. You gotta believe. It's like, I wasted a big wish, a big tall wish on you, and you don't believe after all this time. I think it'll be a different, walk home now. Nobody's cheering for you, and, And then we get to see, like, both versions of the timeline, like one where the wish comes true and one where it doesn't.
I went in with half my artillery gone.
You look like a tiger, even so. You look like a real tiger.
He's still, like, trying to encourage him. Oh, so sweet.
Very nice. Boley? I ain't gonna make no more wishes, Boley.
Oh, no. He doesn't believe anymore. Oh, my heart. He gave up. So that was my first time watching The Twilight Zone, Season 1, Episode 27. I enjoyed this episode. It wasn't my favorite, but I still enjoyed it, and I think it was more the takeaway from it, you know, believing in wishes and magic and, you know, having that childlike wonder about life and how you kind of lose that over time as you get older. You know, it's expected that, you know, the hard knocks of life basically kick it out of you and you know, stop believing in these things. And this is the first Twilight Zone episode that I've seen scene where the majority of the cast was African American, and that was amazing. I was so happy to see that. And there was a child involved. Like, there was a previous episode with Angels where we had a little girl involved as well, but we haven't seen a ton of episodes with younger children, so that was great. And obviously Henry was such a big part of this story, and the actor who portrayed him did such a good job, especially for a child actor. Sometimes it can be, hit or miss, but I think they did a great job. And the actor who played Boley also did an amazing job. I fully believed his story that, he was this aging boxer, and you get the scars on his face, and, going through the stories that they tell and looking into the mirror, and him listing all of the challenges that he has now that he's getting older, and especially in a very physical sport like boxing, people tend to do it when they're young and then retire or move on when they get older because their body physically can't do this anymore, and, getting knocked around so much, and his scars on his face, and, listing the cities and the years and stuff when everything happened. And the impression I got was that he loved doing this, and even though he was kind of sounded like he wanted to give it up, I think he was conflicted because it did sound like something he enjoyed, being a part of. But it definitely also felt like time was catching up to him, and he wasn't maybe as good as he used to be or wanted to be. And, even having Thomas, that agent, in there, like, mocking him, being like, oh yeah, I'll put you in 2 rounds and then you'll be good. Like, don't worry, you'll do like 3 fights a month. And, basically it's saying like, hey, I can put you in fights, but you have to agree to lose, because he's betting on the fights and would bet against him. And obviously that's not what, Boley wants to do, and that's how he ends up punching the wall, because he's so angry at that. We have had a previous episode of Twilight Zone about wishes, where this actress, again, dealing with aging and her career not being where she wanted it to be, and wishing herself back into the screen. And I like that we got to see both, timelines in this, like the version that could have been and then the version that became reality, with Boley, basically saying like, I don't believe in wishes, I don't believe in magic. And you could just see how like pleading Henry was, like, please believe in this. Like, I'm trying to convince you that if you say these things, everything that's just happened is going to be undone. But, he's a kid and he's trying his best to, help his friend. And it sounds like they hung out a lot. And, there was really someone that was important to Henry and wanted good things to happen to Boley. So he's using, this big tall wish that he has. And obviously some magic involves. He can stop time and is able to switch Henry from losing to winning this fight. But that rooftop scene was so pivotal, because as soon as he says, I don't believe in this, like, I'm too old to believe in these things. And again, going back to that, as you get older, it's basically assumed that you stop believing in the things you believed in when you were a kid, because you're supposed to be an adult now. And Henry, having that childlike perspective, of course. And then we go right back to that fight, and everything goes undone, and the wish, is null and void, and he does end up losing the fight. And the fact that he remembered, I thought was interesting. Like, everybody else is like, what are you talking about? You weren't knocked down. And Boley saying like, no, I remember laying there looking at the lights. Like, I remember that, I was getting counted out, and next thing I knew. And of course, Henry doesn't outright say like, I have, magical powers. He just says, I've wished it, and, you've got to believe in the wishes to come true. And, as soon as he starts doubting the wish, then everything gets undone. And I thought it was really sad to hear at the end that Henry wasn't going to wish anymore. Like, I feel like this whole thing with Boley really turned him against wishing, and even his mom saying that, he wished their rent money one day, and that came true. And clearly he had this ability, and maybe he'll rediscover it when he's an adult. And yeah, just to have those perspectives, and, even Boley being like, yeah, it's kind of probably time to grow up, time to stop believing in these wishes. And yeah, he had this ability that he could make them come true, and who knows what else he would have used them for. But just to see Henry realize that, okay, I'm not going to wish anymore. Like, obviously something that he wanted to do for Boley, to have Boley, have this big night, be successful, win this fight. And then, it went the complete opposite way. So I think that kind of ruined it for Henry. And yeah, it sounds like he's not going to do it anymore, which was sad. I believe Rod Serling was also a boxer, if I'm remembering correctly. Somebody had mentioned it in the comments. And to see Boley get some of his confidence back, he's like, oh, I punched the wall, like I must have broken my hand, but, it's fine. And like, you could see some of that, energy start to come back as he's feeling more confident, winning the fight, and even feeling like the crowd, having that same shot twice, I thought was really interesting, where he's walking back from the fight to the apartment. And, the first time the crowd is very excited, like, we saw you on TV, good job. And the second time is like, you should have stayed home. Like, why didn't you even use your right hand? And just how quickly things can can turn. And yeah, just to see the two different outcomes I thought was very interesting. Typically in the Wish episodes or anything like that, we only see the one version and that becomes reality. But to know what he could have had and have it taken away, yeah, it's just even adds another layer of heartbreak to it, because he was so close. If he just could have believed, but he is so adamant. Even before, Henry makes this wish, he says he doesn't believe in magic, like he's very against that, and is almost kind of scolding Henry's character to his mom a little bit too, saying like, well, someone needs to put his face to the concrete and say like, this is life. Like, it felt like, we don't know a ton about Bowley's backstory, but the impression I got was that he grew up, fast and had to learn life the hard way. And now he's kind of just got this, tough exterior and doesn't believe in things that, aren't factual or anything like that. And, magic's not real, wishes aren't real, that kind of approach. And obviously we see how that affects him. There was no next time on the Twilight Zone, so I have no idea what the next episode is going to be about. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode. It's not my favorite, but, Wishes, I kind of find are a little bit... I almost want a little bit more, but I like that we got to see the different aspects of it coming true and then not coming true. But I feel like it was pretty obvious that whatever Henry wished was going to come true, and to see his face next to the TV, and we don't get to hear what he's mouthing, but the time stopping as well, I thought was a really cool element. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Curious to see where we're going to go in the next one. I have no idea what it's going to be about. So thank you so much for sharing in this first time watching with me. If you have any other suggestions for TV shows you think I should watch, please comment below. And as always, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, and check back often for more awesome content. Yeah, it looks like he's got some scars and stuff on his face as well. This guy have secret wishes? Yeah, and basically admit that you'll like give up the fight and you'll lose on purpose. He can freeze time? What? Oh my gosh, he's just a little kid. Oh, let him believe in magic if he wants to. I think it'll be a different, walk home now. Nobody's cheering for you.